So what do you text to a woman who has stopped responding to your messages? I'm dating coach and TED speaker Hayley Quinn. I have the privilege of working with both men and women pretty equally, which you can see on my channel here. So because of that, I am going to be giving you 3 strategies of what not to do and 3 strategies of what you could do when you're in this confusing and frustrating situation. So we're going to start with the what not to do guide. So the first thing I want you to remember is that chasing isn't really going to do your cause a lot of good. In fact, you need to be turning up to the whole experience of dating, expecting more from her as well. Remember, dating is a two-way street. It's not all about you showing and proving and doing stuff that makes her like you. You also need to have a woman who is going to be receptive to hearing and seeing and experiencing what you've got. So whilst I'm going to give you some ideas later on in this video about what you could actually say or do to follow up, be cautious about doing this. Sometimes it might be a case that you just simply needed to leave it and give it more time, especially if it's only been a day or two and you're watching this video. It's a wrist slap, just give it a bit more time. Also, it's important that you don't just continue chatting and texting to her as normal without actually really getting much or any response from her. That's almost like you saying to her, you know what, it's cool, be totally rude, ignore me, I'm still gonna really like you. Not because I like you as a person, because your behavior sucks, but because I'm really attracted to you and I want something from you. So be careful of communicating that. Instead, it's way more powerful to think, that isn't really actually in line with my standards of what I need and want from a woman. I did really like her at the beginning, so I'm gonna give this one more chance, but after that, that is it, because I don't care how hot she is. If she's not going to really communicate with me, then there's nothing that I need from here. I can meet other women. So remember to first, before you even begin, get your mindset in the right place. Secondly, I want you to avoid generic follow-up messages like, hey. Whilst you might think, well, that's not really me giving away much value here. I'm not really trying very hard when I just send a message like, hey. It also seems like the message that you could send to a bunch of different women. And I promise you, all women will have on their social media at least one guy who all he does is he says, hey, 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 like every couple of days or every few weeks. You don't want to be that person. Again, it's a low value, low effort response from you, which may feel right if she's not giving you anything back. But ultimately, it's going to present you as just the kind of guy who doesn't care about who the woman is, that she's not special. You're just there to going around bothering women, and that is not how you want to represent yourself. Third thing of what not to do here is avoid cliches. Don't say things like, were you abducted by aliens? Has someone stolen your phone? Have you fallen in a hole in the ground? These may have been like funny things to say 5 to 10 years ago, but unfortunately, they've now become a cliche. And it's, again, not going to seem like you're being authentic or original. You're going to instead seem like you're leaning on a cliche to say something for you. So instead, let go of the cliches and let's think of some original, authentic, and masculine ways you can re-establish contact even if she's stopped responding. So strategy number 1 to re-establish contact with a woman who has stopped responding is you are going to change up your method of communication. If so far you have been messaging or WhatsApping her or Facebooking her, maybe you could give her a phone call. This is probably going to be more effective on women who are a bit more mature, sort of late 20s up, who are more used to or perhaps more comfortable with chatting to people on the phone. If you're listening to this video and you're thinking, no one calls one another anymore, Hayley, instead you might want to swap up your communication method and start afresh on Instagram if you guys are connected there. So sometimes by changing up the method of communication, it works. Phone call is always the best. That's because what will generally happen is she'll see a phone call from you and she'll be like, oh, forgot to reply to that message. She may not give you a call back, but she may well respond to your message. If that doesn't sound like something that women of your generation are doing or doesn't feel congruent, then you can still apply the same strategy, but you can start afresh by sending a reach out message on a form of social media that you are connected on instead. But please make sure that you're already connected on the social media before you send that message. If you go on a big mission to find her account and research her and then she gets a message from you, again, that's kind of too much effort from someone that she's just met. The second thing that you can do is you can be sincere and very direct. So often if you send something that's too generic, too playful, too did you get abducted by aliens, it doesn't really communicate the right thing. The thing you want to communicate is, look, I'm acknowledging the fact that you haven't responded to that last message, but I did like you, I did feel a connection, so screw it, I'm going to reach out to you again. So you could say something like, we keep missing each other, or look, I don't normally do this, but I thought you were really interesting when we met, and I'd still like to see you again, or I'd like to meet. So you can say something that's very sincere and very direct. You could say, look, we keep missing each other. How about we get a coffee this week? So again, you are establishing, I'm just cutting through all of the junk here, and I'm just going to be really upfront about what my intentions are. That's often going to make you seem more secure, particularly if you reference there was a particular reason why you're reaching out to us again. So you can say, I don't usually do this, but you did make a good impression on me, and I'd still like to see you, or I'd still like to chat to you. So again, you're kind of saying to her, look, hey, I'm not usually the one to chase here, but there was something really interesting about you, which is making me prompt this to make this extra effort. So quite unlike the guy who is continuing to chase even when a woman isn't responding or is being rude, which is basically just saying, because you're hot, regardless of your behavior, I still want to get to know you. Instead, you want to communicate, I did feel a connection to you. Because of this, I'm going to make this extra effort to try and get to know you now. But if that's not going to work out, I'm cool with that. Strategy 3 is you can even bring that up more directly. You could say, it's been a moment, or it's been a minute. How about a coffee this week? Or how about a drink this week? Question mark. P.S. That's the last time I'll be asking, wink. So sometimes you can even playfully acknowledge, look, this is the last chance saloon here. I'm not going to be sending that kind of message again to you. Now that can be quite powerful because you are demonstrating that you, again, have acknowledged the fact that she's not responded to you. You're not seeming too emotionally affected because you've got that wink in there. You're still being playful with it. You're also letting her know that you're not going to be keeping messaging her if she doesn't respond in a way which is communicative and polite. So you're showing that you are in fact holding your standards. So remember, when you think about how to message a girl that you like, even if she hasn't responded to your last message, avoid things that are generic. Avoid just saying, hey, keep it really specific, keep it personal, and keep holding your standards, and keep remembering this is a two-way street, not a one-way street. So in order for it to work out with this girl or the woman that you're messaging, she has to also make an effort too. That is a necessary requirement. So if you want to understand a bit more about what women are really thinking about in the dating process and how you can find an amazing girlfriend, please head over to hayleyquinn.com/approach. I've got 3 brand new videos that you won't be able to find elsewhere waiting there for you. So all you need to do is head over to that link. And if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe or turn on notifications for my channel. And I hope to see you again soon.